haven't done this in so long. Hi everybody! My name is Sammy and welcome back to my channel. Today, hold on, let me get my notes up. Today we're going to be talking about a movie from my childhood that I revisited and realized that it wasn't as whimsical and soft and fun as I thought it was. And I'm curious if you guys have heard of this movie. We're going to be talking about Milo and Otis. I loved this movie as a kid. It follows a story of a barn cat and a little pug that also lives on a farm, because, you know, a pug is obviously a perfect dog to have on a farm. So they meet, they become best buds, we're living on this farm together, and one day...
Surprise! Milo shouted. I finally fooled you! Milo, Otis barked. Get out of there before something happens. But something did.
Milo gets swept away in a box on a river, and this starts their journey, okay? And, you know, Otis, being his best pal, is like, I'm not gonna let you float away and be forgotten. So he follows him throughout this journey. Like, as Milo's going through everything, Otis is just a little bit behind. So this movie was originally created in Japan. They made an English version, I think, 3 years after the first film came out in Japan. Honestly, I loved the movie. I loved the music, I loved the soft narration and the funny voices. It was just great, you know? I thought it was a fun little whimsical film of a cat and a dog going on an adventure. But then, you know, you grow up and you're like, hey, I remember this movie. Let me take a look, you know, let me see what the hell's going on. I honestly didn't think about the movie for years, so it was exciting to find it again and be like, oh yeah, let's check it out. And then I watched it, and a lot of questions came up. Honestly, I immediately felt uncomfortable because as a kid, you don't really think about the logistics behind making a movie, you know what I mean? But then here we have this film of actual dogs and cats going through situations that aren't great, to put it lightly. Scenes that, you know, felt adventurous as a kid are now disturbing. So let's talk about it. Something felt off before I even did any research on this film, which just goes to show the underlying reason why people were calling out the director as an animal abuser. So I'll just take you guys on like a rundown of the plot, the synopsis, if you will. So as I said, this story follows a little orange cat named Milo and a little pug named Otis. And we basically get to see them as babies, and then they grow up, and then they go on their little adventure, and then they find mates, and then they have children, and it's like, oh my god, it's so cute. These little animals, we get to see their life. And it is cute until it's not, okay? You will soon understand why I'm saying that. So Milo is hiding in a box floating by the river, and it breaks away from the dock, and he starts floating down the river. And this is what starts their big journey. Otis runs after Milo because he's a great friend and isn't just gonna let his friend float away and never be seen again. Milo's honestly having a great time.
Quick, jump in. This'll be fun, Milo shouted. Otis didn't know what to do. Hey, this is great. Come on. Hurry up, Otis, come with me.
You know, having fun, looking at the sights. He's floating down a river. It's exciting for him until he realizes that he's drifted far, far from home. We follow Milo going on many adventures, escaping from lots of, I don't want to say just predators, but just other animals that want to do him harm, escaping after one obstacle after the other, basically. Milo encounters a bear, okay? And Otis shows up and is like...
Then came Otis. He surveyed the scene and he knew. Sometimes a dog's gotta do what a dog's gotta do.
He's helping him get away from this bear, and they get separated again. But I'm gonna pause right there because a little pug, is attacking a bear. They actually filmed this, and allegedly, doing research into this, allegedly, one of the pugs was mauled by a bear. Okay, Jesus Christ. Allegedly, a pug got mauled by a bear, okay? So a ton of stuff happens, and I'm just gonna talk about the important I don't want to say important scenes, but like the parts that really made me think, what the fuck am I watching? So my next big problem with this movie is when Milo is running up this hill trying to get some food. So he's like, oh, seagull eggs. That's a great idea. I'm gonna eat some seagull eggs.
Soon he had another chance for a meal. Some seagull eggs might be tasty.
So he's crawling up these seagull nests and he gets like bombarded and attacked by seagulls. And it's really hard to watch because you're like, that poor cat. Okay, but then it gets worse. They wanted to try and insinuate that the only way that Milo could escape these seagulls was to hurl himself off a cliff. But you can just tell that they just tossed this cat off a cliff. And you see him fall, and he goes into the water, and the poor thing is swimming, trying to get to shore, and he gets up this cliffside, and he falls like 2 or 3 times and gets like taken away by the waves, and it's just so heartbreaking. This poor cat didn't ask for this, and the fact that there's people behind the cameras that are just watching this, and they're like, this is good footage. Excuse me?
The part where he is climbing up the cliffside over and over again is actually from the original Japanese version of the movie. The American version cut out about 15 minutes, but you can find the other footage online, on YouTube, and it's a lot harder to watch, and I think it's kind of funny that the American version tried to soften even just a little bit of the cruelty that these animals went through. There's also a lot more footage of the scene where Otis is fighting against the bear, and it's just as hard to watch. So, viewer discretion if you do decide to go look for that scene.
And it gets worse, okay? I know. How does it get worse from there? Because I just want to throw in that there was not 1 but 2 scenes of animals giving birth.
Jesus.
Oh, it's Otis Jr. Oh, it's Otis Jr.
Which, I guess, I don't know, it's not animal cruelty to watch animals give birth and then, like, record it and put it on a movie, but it was kind of weird, you know what I mean? Just be like, oh my god, what? The miracle of life, I guess? I don't know. As I said, this was originally a Japanese film from the 80s, so animal welfare standards were a lot different, especially on film sets. It just put these animals in all kinds of different, like, situations for the plot, for the adventure of it all, and it's just really disturbing to realize, you know, the gravity of the situations. And it gets even worse with the allegations from the director's brother. Multiple people involved with the production had claims of really disgusting things happening, and I don't exactly want to go into graphic detail, maybe a trigger warning. In one scene, a Milo was anesthetized, I don't know how to say that word, basically put under anesthesia for one of the scenes, and the producer's brother says, and I quote, "I heard that perhaps they administered the wrong amount, and in the end, it never woke up from the anesthesia and died." What? So that's awesome. Apparently, the number of orange cats that they used to represent Milo was 20, but one of them died in a traffic accident. I don't even know how to, like, describe some of this shit. It's so disturbing. Mutsugaro must have been the one who suggested opening the cat's head and directly stimulating the lacrimal glands in the scene where the cat sheds tears. What? Are we dead ass right now? Mr. Mutsugaro also said that when photographing the kitten's adult state, he would perform surgery to open the stomach and put a balloon in the stomach. Basically, what the fuck are we talking about? So apparently, Mutsugaro also suggested that we open its stomach, perform surgery, and insert a balloon in its stomach when filming the scene where Milo is fed milk by a pig and the kitten is full. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, the fact that you're gonna use animals as if they're puppets?
Huh?
to be used for a children's movie. I'm fucking dead, bro. I'm disturbed. Milo and Otis was a film I really enjoyed as a kid. That I was truly shocked to realize what I was truly looking at. Because as a kid, this movie felt whimsical. I realized that it may be one of the most disturbing children films ever made. Not because of the story, but because of what was done to make it. A lighthearted, nostalgic memory becomes, in retrospect, one of the cruelest films ever made. It's hard to accept that this was all made by men. That there were people intentionally putting these animals in these situations and watching them unfold, doing nothing, not really even caring. It feels like if they lose one of the animals because they have like 20 to represent one of the characters. And honestly, I don't care if some of these are like allegations, because whether there's no proof or not, the proof is kind of in the pudding, and we don't know if the graphic nature of what these animals went through is necessarily true. But when you watch the film, it's clear that you put these animals in these situations regardless of if they made it out okay, unscathed, you know what I mean? The stuff coming from the director's brother himself, like, I don't know, maybe it's all not true. I'd like to hope and pray. But you make a pug fight a bear, okay? You throw a cat off a cliff, record these animals giving birth. I don't know, man. Kind of weird. Because the allegations were corroborated by other people that worked on the set as well. And this was back in the 1980s, before animal laws were really that strict. The AHA first issued its famous "No animals were harmed in the making of this film" end credit disclaimer to the Doberman gang in 1972. However, at that time, it was only sporadically employed, with many studios not seeing animal welfare as a priority. And it shows. If you guys have ever seen this film, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. If you haven't, I recommend not watching it. It's cute until it's not. Nostalgia covers up the horrors. It's just disturbing, you know, realizing like this wasn't an accident. This was situations being created intentionally for a children's movie, no less. Why would we excuse cruelty when it's framed as cute or adventurous? I don't think we should, and I hope that Milo and Otis is a one-off thing, that there's not many other films that could compare to its nature. So I just wanted to talk about it. I have a list of video ideas that I have, and it's just been so long since I've gotten to make a video, and it's been hard. I've obviously been up to stuff. If you guys enjoyed it, please feel free to check out any of my other videos. You might like them more than this one. This one was a little dark. But yeah, thank you guys so much for clicking on this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!